wherever LeBron goes.
Yeah, Dunny wouldn't be happy at all.
No, not a lot of people would.
I feel like Dunny and Slick, every time I send something LeBron related into a Happy Hour Hoops group chat, are always the most averse to it. Meerkat, no, that's a lie. Meerkat is number one.
That's true. That's true.
I was gonna say I don't think I'm as bad as Slick, and Meerkat is.
Slick's not as consistent. Slick just gets like when he gets mad about LeBron, it's like fuck that guy.
But that's what Slick gets mad about anyone. That's his reaction to it. I mean, I love LeBron to the point. Like, I don't like LeBron. I've never really liked LeBron, but I love that he's just kind of become like a meme now, and it just gets so many people riled up. No matter what he does, it gets people pissed off. I think it's hilarious. That's why I would love it. LeBron to the Warriors would just cause chaos if he did that at the end of his career, and I'd be all here for it because we're all here for the chaos. That's what I'm here for.
That's how we're starting this podcast. Stevie says LeBron to the Warriors. That's what we're gonna end with.
That's what we got to clip it right there. I'm calling LeBron to the Warriors after he signs like $100 million deal with the Lakers.
It could be 111 million.
So for 2 years, dude. 2 years.
And he's the one who basically did this. Like, he set it up through the players union to then pay himself when he was 40 and 41, $100 million. It's incredible. It's just like
unbelievable.
I read too that no other teams were able. I forget what the exact verbiage was, but like no other team had the wiggle room for cap space that the Lakers could offer him or something along those lines. So he basically mapped this out as what is the best 2-year max extension I can get with also a good chance of winning. And it just so happens he has that player option in year 2 as well.
Yeah. I mean, the Lakers got to make some moves, though, if he wants to have a good chance of winning. They're not going to win with the same roster if they spit it out again.
Bro, they got to trade Russ now. You don't pay $100 million and worry about first round picks.
They have to. And I'm a huge Russ guy. I love Russ, but they got to get. He just didn't fit in well with the Lakers. They got to find someone else.
You know what's going to happen? Like this is the vision, honestly. Is that LeBron's gonna leave in 2 years. They know that. Jeannie Buss knows LeBron's not gonna retire a Laker unless they bring Bronny in. Then he'll retire a Laker.
Yeah,
they're just gonna trade it. They're gonna trade Anthony Davis like right away. Just hope he's still good and just recoup all that. That's what I really think they're gonna do. I don't know. Whoever needs a superstar in 2 years. The Bucks, like any contending team in the world. Whatever. I don't know who the team would be at this point. The Grizzlies, I don't know, but just a team that can give them a shit ton of first round picks for a guy.
Would be scary.
As long as he doesn't break down, he's still like an all NBA type-ish level, like top 25 guy, top 30 guy. He's gonna get what are these superstars go? Dude, Rudy Gobert got 5 first round picks.
True.
So in 2 years, I think Anthony Davis better still be able to get like 5 first round picks in 2 years.
Yeah, no, I mean that's true. Yeah, you'll definitely still get a handful of first for him. Anthony Davis. Yeah, he could go to, like you said, the Grizzlies is a perfect example, but just a team where he doesn't even have to play the full season, right? Anthony Davis can kind of just play like 60% of games a regular season, coast a little bit, and then show up for the playoffs.
It's the one ace up the sleeve that they have is just blow it all up because he's gonna get a package as long as he's. The better he plays, it's good for the team and then good for his trade value when Bron leaves. Like, it's a win-win in all scenarios.
That's true. It actually is true.
Yeah.
I don't know, though. I know I started at LeBron and the Warriors to end his career, just chaos everywhere. Light the NBA on fire.
That would be amazing. Bro, it's a little weird that Draymond's called him my king. I don't really like that.
I know. It takes away a little bit from that Warriors-Cavs rivalry. When I see, I know LeBron and Draymond are, friends off the court, but it's just to see it, it's like, I don't know. It's like, I like the old school rivalries where these guys hate each other, right? Now the rivalries in the NBA, it's like they're buddy off the court. It's a different feeling.
Yeah, I've learned to accept that that's our NBA now, where everyone's so close and different guys work out with each other in the summer. But it's almost like gone beyond that too. I agree in the sense that, especially with the LeBron and Draymond stuff, because like you mentioned, Stevie, like they were the core them two hating each other and going back and forth was the core of the Cavs Warriors rivalry. And even I want to say like from the end of last regular season till now, it's been like this weird. It's been enhanced, the relationship between LeBron and Draymond. It seems they can't stop patting each other on the back on social media. They can't stop like just both talking about how they have 4 rings, which Draymond, I feel like it's respectable. He just got his 4th, so like whatever, brag about it until next season starts, I guess. But yeah, I don't know. It seems just a tad bit off. And then I'm not in the camp where, I dislike that Jason Tatum was at Draymond's wedding or whatever. But like even that, it's like you guys just like fought it out in the NBA finals, and now like you're at his wedding.
Y'all should be happy. JT he's in the Illuminati now, bro. He got
that's what I mean.
He is in.
I'm not upset about that, but it is like I understand why people have to
it makes sense.
A double take at something like that.
But that my biggest takeaway from seeing JT in those pictures is, bro, he is like they are naming him. Like Bron is like there's just these guys don't post these things to Instagram without some kind of agenda, unfortunately. I wish that we could treat them as normal people who are just posting vacation pics wherever the hell they are in the world on their Instagram, but they care more about their brands than anything else. Instagram is so pointed. It's such like it's a message. Like you really have to look at it like that. And JT's him. He's there, bro. But still not too at the extent, like, and that's the frustrating part there. But I get why I get why it would fire up a fan base, especially Boston people getting mad about something.
That can't be.
Yeah. Shocking, right?
I like that we started the app here with just the random basketball rant once again. I love doing that.
I was gonna do it as the prizes more often, but it's just so fun to just like.
It is. It's a good way to get the juices flowing.
If we're already talking about basketball, if we're already talking about it, we might as well be recording it. Like I feel like we used to do that so many times where we'd like have like a 10-minute conversation pre-pod, and then like wouldn't bring up the same thing, or because you can't just bring it up again,
right?
So I like the hot start.
And we're also at that point in the off season too, right? Where we got to find something to talk about at this point. So we have a conversation going, might as well.
Well, Bron runs the off seasons, as we know, and
Bron's running this pod right now.
He is.
We can get more into Draymond's wedding, which we will. I figured, now I feel at the top of the show here, we usually introduce guests, and Stevie is no longer a guest on this show. Was probably the most prominent guest. We probably had him on the most out of all of our guests, recurring guests. Stevie is now a part of a big 3 at Happy Hour Hoops. I'm kind of blindsided, Jake and Stevie. We didn't talk about doing this, but I want to do it on this show. So Stevie, before we get into a show filled with more KD news, more LeBron, more Draymond's wedding, NBA schedule release, Donovan Mitchell, all that stuff we're going to get to. The floor is yours for, a minute or two if you want it, and just kind of introduce yourself to the HHH audience here, and talk about joining the team.
Well, first off, thank you guys for having me. I got my start at Trainwreck really through Triple H, so it makes sense. We've come full circle, and now we are a part of the Big 3. I had a lot of offers I wanted to decide. I ended up going with the Big 3 here. I got to stay loyal to the guys who helped build me up. No, but seriously, I'm very, very excited. As you know, I joined Trainwreck specifically really for college basketball. I was big into college basketball, and you guys gave me a start. You gave me a platform for March Madness a couple of years ago. We had a great tournament. We're not going to talk about this past tournament's predictions at Triple H, but the year before we had a great tournament. And, I kind of realized from that, awesome guys, loved hopping on here, dove more into the NBA. I've been on, I don't even know how many times I've been on Triple H now, but I'm just excited to actually be a part of it, to really help. We're going to pump out more content. It'll have somewhere for my crazy, stupid bets videos to live, because we'll have those throughout the entire season. We're going to have some friendly competitions, maybe a little DFS sprinkled in here and there. And now you got a third member to have his crazy opinions of the NBA, because I have my hot takes. I spiel them on Twitter all the time. So very happy to be a part of it. Jake and Dunny, like I said, honored to be the third member here. It was always going to be Triple H. I had to have the other offers out there so I didn't look desperate, but it was always going to be Triple H. I'm very excited for this upcoming season. Basketball can't get here soon enough, guys. As you know, I'm betting on the WNBA now because I have that much of an itch for basketball. I can't wait to see what we can do this season. You guys have, grown immensely from when you first started, when I first discovered you, and there's no limit right now. There's no limit. We're going as far up as we can possible, and I can't wait.
What did Michael Jordan say? He said the ceiling is the roof that one time. That's it. The ceiling is the roof, baby. Stevie, it's a pleasure. We wouldn't want anybody else along for the ride as we go into what is our third NBA season, even though it's only been 2 years, because Dunny and I, we're a pandemic baby here. Yeah, our first podcast were about bubble basketball. I've never listened to those podcasts before, but I imagine me and Dunny were more just like, what the fuck is going on? That was like the vibe, because the world was in a what the fuck is going on, and then the bubble basketball was like, what are we even watching right now?
We were breaking down Paul George times. Like fishing outside of the bubble. That was like our day one content was us talking about Paul George fishing and like Taco Fall in the pool.
It was so funny. The first 2 weeks, that was what the players loved it. They're like, oh, we're golfing, we're fishing, we're hanging out. And then like after a week, they're like, I want to leave.
Yeah, everyone was tired of trying or having to deny Jimmy Butler of Big Face Coffee, because that's when that came on the scene too. Yeah, it is crazy.
We had a lot of Big Face Coffee content.
It's crazy the road we've taken. Like you said, third NBA season, 2 years. This one's gonna be the best one yet, of course.
The third age.
We're third age. We're on the third age, baby. Triple H of the Happy Hour Hoops. We are here. Jake, I liked your idea pre-show of starting the show off with a little 2K talk. As avid 2K players know, we're right around the corner of the best sports game coming out every year. We got
not
NBA
close
2K.
Not close either.
Yeah, bro, listen. Hold up. A quick aside, Stevie, because you answered this tweet yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking Cam Akers on all Madden, bro. This game is broken. I need 2K right now. This dude broke like the first 3 tackles on every run.
Madden is. I would rant about Madden for about 30 minutes if I could. Madden just gets me so frustrated. It's a copy and paste every year. 2K, on the other hand, man, 2K, it has things in 2K where it's a meme, like Gerald Green being the best player in the game despite being a 65 overall is like peak 2K. But I love 2K, the presentation. I can't wait for this year. I get 2K I get excited for 2K every year. I love 2K. I'm finishing my team for this past year's game where everyone has a 99 overall Dark Matter end game, and I got Yao Ming who's making half-court shots like it's nothing. So that means it's time for a new year of 2K.
This is what I was telling you about pre-show.
Okay.
4 eras you can start from.
That's
so you can literally just you could just start as the Chicago Bulls before they draft Michael Jordan, and then just do 45 years of the Bulls, and it's all the same drafts though. That's the thing that's awesome to me. If you start, you can basically just start, and then theoretically it's all the same drafts, right? Like why would they make it?
Yeah,
so you could start it you could just be the Celtics from 1983 and then just like play out all those drafts and see how it is. Like that's the thing that's going to drive me.
So you're saying like if you start in 1983, right? You sim 20 years, you're getting the 2003 draft class, because that would actually
that's
be
what I'm thinking,
sick.
Right? I don't know for sure, but I don't see how else it would be. that way.
I didn't think of it like that. That'd be insane.
The only
get Michael Jordan, then just like you know you're gonna sell out to get LeBron and Michael Jordan on the same team in 2003. Like just load up your picks early because you can plan ahead. You could be like, oh, bro, I know Tim Duncan's gonna be sick. Like I'll just
all the superstars already. Yeah. Jokic isn't getting taken during a Taco Bell commercial. Let me tell you,
it's the luck of the draw. It's gonna be just like whatever. And I wonder if people get hurt like through their career too. Like it's just
trying to decipher what error would be the best here to put your my player. And I'm obviously going to try all four. I'm probably going to do all the errors plus the modern era. But where are you guys? Where are you guys landing first? You think? I think I have my answer, but it's tough.
For my player, if I'm doing my player personally, probably the Kobe era. But if I'm doing like my team, I want to do the Magic Bird era because I still, to this day, I think Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is one of the greatest players in 2K. He's unstoppable.
Yeah,
I would love to play with that team through like an actual season, matching up with like the teams from that era. I think that would be incredible. Kareem and Magic, just two guys in 2K that they've been so good to me. Kareem's one of my favorite players. I mean, how can you stop him? 7'2", he'll never miss the sky hook. He gets every rebound. I'd have to go with that era. Mm-hmm.
I can honestly tell you everything I'm going to start off with this.
Oh boy.
With the 80 to 82 to 83, I'm just going to be the Bulls and try to build and just get Michael Jordan and go from there and like do a different version of that. Or that's what I'm thinking I'm going to do there. The next two are both Cavs related. I need to beat Michael Jordan with the Cavs, who got beaten down in the 90s so many times. And you know, that's like the biggest boss of a basketball game you could ever have is like throw you into a season. It's like, okay, build a team that can beat the Jordan Bulls, but they've never get beat. So like, good luck. Like that sounds like fun to me, just getting thrown into that era. So that could be any team, but I'll probably still do the Cavs, but definitely doing the Kobe era and trying to win many more championships with the Cleveland Cavaliers and LeBron James that ended up happening there. But I think that Magic Bird era, like top is going to be top for me, just to pick a team, just any team, and just try to like make them the greatest team franchise of all time randomly. Like you're just the Washington Wizards and they're just have won 7 titles or something in 30 years. And you just go off. Like something like that would be just ridiculous.
What about you, Donnie? Where are you going?
I think I'm going Kobe era first, man.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think there's just so many exciting players. One that I was right on the cusp of when I was young that like I had just missed, or guys who I grew up watching play the game of basketball. I think the Kobe era would probably be the funnest for me and one that I would be most intrigued in. The only reason it's probably the Jordan era intrigues me the least is because throughout the years of 2K, like there's always been so much like Jordan pushed on you, and like 2K11 is probably my favorite video game of all time. Not sports video game, not 2K. 2K11 is probably my favorite video game of all time. And that had all like the crazy, like you could play in Jordan's flu game. It had all the Jordan moments in that game. So I think they haven't exhausted that, but I've just already gotten a lot of that. The fact that, you know, we're mixing it up now. We have a Magic and Bird era and the Kobe era. I'm just a little more excited for those. So Kobe first, then probably Magic, Bird, then Jordan.
Taking over the Kobe and Shaq Lakers and just trying to get work would be pretty fun too.
Yeah.
Just have keep them together for like 6 years
Shaq
after.
To stay. Yeah.
if I did the Kobe era, I'd try to make the Kings just win championships. Peja, Bibby, Deepak, come on, sign me up for the Kings. That'd be a fun team to play as. Yeah,
this is probably stuff. Oh my god, I'm gonna play so many different franchises on this. It's gonna be ridiculous. That's the shit I love, though.
It'll just be awesome doing like a franchise with the classic teams instead of having to custom build it every time. Like they're actually in there.
What I'm really looking forward to is what the presentation will be like.
Yeah,
like old announcers, old time graphic, or not even having the graphics, just having the score like flash up during the screen randomly or something, shit like that.
The older courts, that'd be sick.
I'm sure they'll have all that. because they even do that in like the 2Ks in recent years now with the old courts. I think someone in the Kobe era that'd be sick is like making your guy a small forward and getting drafted to the Sixers with AI.
Yeah,
and just trying to get a few ships with AI. That'd be unreal.
That's the one thing though I appreciate for 2K though is their presentation. They always knock it out of the park with the presentation. So I think they'll do a really good job of, kind of differentiating the eras where it's going to feel different each time you play. And that's important to me. I don't want it to just be like, oh, yeah, I'm just playing with these guys, but it feels like I'm playing a current game. I want it to feel like I'm in that era.
Mm. Yeah, I mean,
we're only a couple weeks away, too.
I'm crazy excited for 2K. I don't know if like this was just meant to be or like I ended up just it all being coincidence and just liking it all, but 2K, the start of the NBA season and my birthday are always like 2 weeks, except for obviously like the bubble season, and the last couple of years have been weird when the NBA starts, but middle to end of October, my birthday's in the end of October. Season usually starts in like the middle of 2K, usually comes out a little before that, and it's always just like the best timing in the fall.
Yeah.
Football season's already started. I got my birthday coming up. We got 2K coming out, the start of basketball. This stretch that we have coming up is like my favorite time of the year, and 2K being a big part of it. So
I'm right there with you, Johnny.
I'm an August hater. I'm an August.
Yeah.
I like August. Everybody, I have no shame in wanting to move on summer to get to September, and it's exactly the time of year. When's your birthday, Donnie? October. What is it?
October 28th.
Okay.
28th. November 17th. I'm like 3 weeks after you, so it's a great time. My birthday is always the week before Thanksgiving, which is always like just a great starts off Thanksgiving week. All the football in the world.
Dude,
I love
peak fall, man. Peak fall when you have football and basketball on at the same time. There's nothing better, and the weather's still decent enough where you can still go outside and enjoy the day. I mean, that's the peak of fall. I'll argue with anyone. Fall is the best month. It's better than summer. I don't care what you say about the nice weather. We're not in school anymore.
Yeah, maniac.
Fall is the best for sports. I love the weather in fall. There's nothing better than a hoodie and shorts weather. I don't want to hear it. It's 90 degrees in the summer, way too hot. Give me a nice, comfortable, light hoodie, some basketball shorts, and give me a weekend where I can look through NBA games, college basketball games, college football games, and then an NFL Sunday. Sign me up for that 10 times out of 10 every single day.
All right, so we're almost there. We got games this week. We know when people are playing games now, guys.
We do have games. We finally have games.
We know the order of the games. Donnie, you have to start off the season. How does that feel? Honestly, we both have the Bills start off this season. Night one, opening night, and now the Boston Celtics.
The Rams.
Night one, opening night. Get out of here, Stevie. We need to talk about those guys. What do you think? Are you
Super Bowl champ?
Joel Embiid, 40 points, 10 rebounds.
Hey man, Joel said it himself. Look, you can't call the Celtics Sixers a rivalry because we always kick their ass, and that's a quote from Embiid. He said it years ago, but it stays true. I mean, Sixers fans this year thought they would have had the Celtics number. They didn't. They bring in Harden. Still not impressed. I think the Sixers will be very improved. I think they're going to be a scarier team than last year. But look, the Celtics have bigger aspirations, man. They got the taste now. I think the regular season is going to be a whole different animal for them moving forward, especially with this core that we have. Like they got a taste of the NBA Finals. They know they can't mess around. They know they can't even start the season close to how they started it last year. But I think it will make for an exciting game. I'm hyped to be playing on I'm not playing. I'm hyped the Celtics are playing on opening night.
You're playing.
And the last time the Celtics and Sixers played on opening night, JB had like this crazy like half dunk on Embiid. He went up and like it looks like Embiid blocks it, but it goes off the backboard and in the like animation of it, if you will, using 2K lingo here. Jalen just like absolutely bodies Embiid and he falls to the ground, and it was the most like electric poster that wasn't even a dunk I've ever seen. I'm doing a poor job of explaining this, but I'll clip it and put it out there for the people on all socials. But yeah, I'm excited, man. And then obviously we have Lakers Warriors for the West Coast games, and that's going to be just as good, I think.
That's going to be great theater to see LeBron. Who knows what that Lakers team is going to look like? Making LeBron watch the ring ceremony is just an interesting touch there to that game.
I didn't even think
LeBron will send out the tweet of can't believe watching Draymond Green and Steph Curry get their 4th ring. I got 4 rings as well. Beat the Warriors coming back 3-1. He's got to make it about himself. But that game will be electric. Anytime you have LeBron versus Curry in the regular season, they always it just feels a little more special than your typical regular season game. And having to be opening night, I think is going to be awesome. They picked, I think, probably the 2 best games they could have for opening night with Sixers Celtics and then Lakers Warriors. It's just a great way to start the season. Even though the Lakers, we don't really know what that team's going to look like yet. I think that's probably the best matchup for the Warriors opening night. I can't really think of another team that would get as much hype behind that.
No, that's a great schedule. I was honestly surprised it was the Sixers. I figured they would go. I think Celtics Bucks is pretty early on, but I figured that would be a night one. Just give us Giannis. I'd rather see Giannis than the Sixers, but
I would too. They're trying to push the Embiid. They're trying to push the
rivalry. It's good to have the rivalry on there too.
Yeah.
They do have it. It is the Christmas Day matchup though. Bucks Celtics on Christmas.
Yeah.
We've got Sixers Knicks. Why are the Knicks? The Knicks always got to be on Christmas.
They're always on Christmas.
Suns Nuggets, Lakers Mavs, and Grizzlies Warriors. What's your favorite game out of those, Dunny? Besides the Celtics game, which is also a great. That's at 5:00 too, right? I think that's the midday game, which is 5:00 slot. Used to be the main event slot. Then they went to the 8:00 and got the biggest game. But I remember those Lakers Heat games, those Kobe LeBron games being 5:00 and everything else. I think that's where you guys are at.
I low-key love the first game of the day.
Bucks Celtics.
You're still kind of in that fog of Christmas morning. True. I got a nice hot cup of Joe with some Baileys in it. Still got my bathrobe on, and there's just the NBA basketball right there waiting for me. So I love the early game on Christmas Day for sure, dude. I don't know. I was actually. Obviously, Bucks Celtics, as a fan, I'm most excited for that. But these are all fantastic matchups. I think we can easily say Sixers and Knicks is the worst, just talent-wise. But I'm thinking back to 2 playoffs ago. We got Suns Nuggets drama that I'm sure is still alive and well. And then
different looking Nuggets team this year too. They're gonna have probably Murray and Michael Porter Jr. That's a different team. That is gonna be a much more exciting Nuggets team. And I'm not taking anything away from the Nuggets last year, but Jokic carried that team. Now they're actually going to have a team again. They could look like a championship caliber team come Christmas. Yeah.
Yeah, I know for sure. You ask me right now, I'm probably more bullish on the Nuggets at this moment than I am the Phoenix Suns, as crazy as that sounds.
Yeah.
But then we have Luka LeBron, and then talk about storylines and drama. Stevie's got his Luka shirt on. We didn't even plan that. And we got the drama in another storyline with the Grizzlies Warriors, which obviously brewed from last year's playoffs.
That's going to be a blast.
Yeah, Draymond and Ja Morant going back and forth all summer long on Twitter. And we got some taste of that on Christmas Day. So I don't know. Honestly, after I said it out loud, the LeBron-Luka matchup will be pretty spectacular on Christmas Day.
Oh, because they're both going to put up 28 shots and try to go crazy.
Both triple doubles.
Yeah, they're both going to go 40, 12, and 10, something ridiculous like that. They're just touching the ball every single possession. Bias, I would say the Lakers Mavs is my favorite, but I think Grizzlies Warriors could just be a boat race. I think this is the year too. Ja Morant says I can win an MVP, and I think this is the year he's gonna go nuts. And the best way to do it is to show up in those big stages. Right now, Steph Curry is one of those point guards that I think most people have above Ja Morant going into the season, as he's just better than him. And Ja thinks he's the best point guard in the NBA. He's got to prove it, so you got to beat the best of the best. That's Steph Curry.
Those are. It's going to be a great day of basketball. There's 3 football games on Christmas Day too. It's going to be the weirdest Christmas ever, but it's going to be a blast. I'm definitely interested to see the main event there in Golden State, but I'm maybe there's something special with that Knicks. You know what's going to be great about that Knicks Sixers game is that, like you said, Dunny, and I'm sure I'll be in the East Coast, so I'll say noon, but even if I was here, just waking up at like 8 a.m., 9 a.m. and placing my money line Sixers bet is going to feel amazing. And my over Joel Embiid, whatever his point is that day, like that's what I'm going to do. Guys, a couple years ago, the early game that you mentioned that, I think it was Sixers Bucks a couple years ago, 2 years ago. And I first bet on the Bucks to win, and they got boat raced. Remember, they lost by like 30 in that game.
Yeah,
I was hurting, and then I ended up doubling down and betting on their spread, like minus. I don't even know what it was, 21, and I don't remember what it was, but let's say for the sake of it, it's minus 22.5. I was like, or plus 22.5, I should say. Yeah. I'm like, fuck it, I'm putting it down on them. No way they're getting blown out by 22. And then they were down by like 30 for the rest of the game, and I was just sweating, and I think they lost. I think they covered by like the 1 point at the end, and it was my bet. It's one of my favorite bets of all time because I just like the fact that I bet on them to win, and they got blown out, and then I'm like, all right, you guys just can't get blown out by 22, and then still was sweating with like 3 minutes left. I'm like, oh my god, this team is horrible. I almost hated Giannis after that. I didn't. Me and Giannis were on very shaky terms. For a long time.
Dude, there's nothing better than the backdoor cover though. When a team's getting spanked and then they just the scrubs come in, like I don't know, Jordan Norwood comes in, just hits like 3 corner threes, and the Bucks cover the backdoor. Like nothing better.
It was beautiful. So that's what I'm looking forward to on Christmas Day.
Although I might have to backtrack a little here, guys, and it kind of involves the thing we're going to talk about next, but Sixers Knicks has potential to not be the worst matchup if
that's true.
Mr. Donovan Mitchell finds himself in New York.
True.
Because those, we've kind of exhausted ourselves with the KD rumors, which I'm sure we'll talk a little more about him before the show ends. But Knicks and Jazz have started the talks back up again. Danny Ainge woke up from his trade nap, and he still wants those first rounders. So apparently the talks have picked back up. More teams are involved now. Hornets and Wizards apparently also pursuing Donovan Mitchell. But let's start with Knicks and Jazz here. I saw the most recent report that I read was apparently Danny Ainge himself asked the Knicks for RJ Barrett and 6 first-round picks. I mean, we did see Gobert go for 5, like we were talking about before the show here. But RJ and 6 first-rounders, I don't see the New York Knicks doing that.
I don't think they should. I don't think they should. I'm gonna put up a very. It's my first time officially on Triple H. I have to have a really hot take, right? That's the only way to do it. So this should be a warning. There should be a warning symbol before this. I think RJ Barrett's gonna have a better career than Donovan Mitchell. I think RJ Barrett's going to have a better career than Donovan. No, you don't think so?
No.
I saw something in the second half of last year. I really think RJ Barrett can be that superstar for the Knicks. I think he can be a guy who can average over 25 a game for him. So I would A, laugh at that offer if that was something that was even offered, and B, I would rather have RJ Barrett going forward than Donovan Mitchell. I really would.
I'm a big RJ fan. I don't think that's hot. I think the upside's there.
I do think that's a hot take, but I'm willing to get behind that. I'm willing to have that be an official Happy Hour Hoops take because I don't know. I thought the last couple seasons or so we would see Donovan Mitchell continue to step up and improve the things that he lacked, which I don't think he really has. I think he's become a better scorer every year of his career, but he hasn't blown me away yet for a full season of playmaking. His defense and his size doesn't help for the defense, but his defense isn't really all that promising. And he is a little undersized. With RJ, I think you have a more skilled and well-rounded basketball player. He has the size. He has better defense. And as far as I'm concerned, he's been playing on a shitty Knicks team with no real structure since he's been in the NBA. He may have more of an it factor than Donovan Mitchell. I mean, he played in all those huge games in college alongside Zion. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I can be in agreement with that. I think RJ is a hell of a talent. I don't think if the Knicks are trying to pursue Donovan Mitchell, I don't think that's the guy you want to send away. I think you want to try to pair those two at all costs.
No, those two have to. The vision. The only way it makes sense is if those two are together. It's not a Julius Randle thing.
Do the Knicks even really get better at that point if they just do RJ and Mitchell swap?
No, Randle's done. Randle's done.
Yeah, I agree. No, you feel strong about it.
Bro, just look at he's the easiest basketball reference page to look at. I've said it so many times, but it's just like it is what it is with him. And I feel like if the Knicks are smart, they know that. They just what other choice did they have? You can't lose the guy after that season. They had no other options. But yeah, you got to get rid of him. And Danny Ainge knows that too. Danny Ainge don't want Julius Randle unless he wants to tank. No. Then he should want Julius Randle.
And I also don't think New York's like a good stage for Donovan Mitchell. I don't think he'd be a guy who would thrive in that kind of environment. I don't think Donovan Mitchell's that type of player.
Can I present you this though? He is from, as Shams would say, hometown. He's a hometown kid from whatever city, Connecticut.
Yeah, but
that's just Shams being that's me making fun of Shams because he tried to say that he's from New York City. It's like an article he wrote a couple months ago or couple weeks ago, and he said in like 2 sentences, Donovan Mitchell, a hometown kid in New York City, born and raised in whatever Connecticut. I'm like, bro, if you said that this from New York, that this kid from Connecticut was a New Yorker, they would fucking kill you. So there's already a disconnect going on there a little bit.
I think this offseason we've seen Shams try to just make any trade happen. It's ridiculous, man. He's trying to he's just exaggerating beyond belief the stuff he's saying. It's like he wants to make a headline. I get it. It gets clicks. Let's hear it.
Go.
I have a conspiracy theory, and it has to do with both Shams and Woj. I think we are witnessing the greatest long con of all time by Adrian Wojnarowski. I think the last couple of years when everyone thought that he was losing a step and Shams was getting ahead, I think Woj was doing this on purpose and was letting him get some of these bigger scoops, letting him get some of these stories. You even notice Woj retweets Shams sometimes after. He's like, I'll let him do the dirty work. I'll let him get the scoops. I'll just retweet him. People are still going to listen to me. People are still going to follow me for information. I think that Woj has been letting Shams get too big of a head, get a little bit too confident. And then I think, maybe Woj has been slipping out some of these, Jaylen Brown to the Nets in exchange for Kevin Durant. all these reports from Shams that seem a little too good to be true, that don't really have any traction weeks later. Now people like us and other people on NBA Twitter or tuned into the NBA are starting to turn on Shams. Woj is just still going about his consistent reporting business. He's putting out the pods. He's putting out the interviews. He's putting out the scoops that he's getting. And where's everyone else? They're hating on Shams. So that's I thought of that as we started talking about this, but I think that's what's going on here.
I don't hate that. I don't hate that conspiracy theory at all. I really don't.
I think Shams is treating this shit like WWE.
That's true.
Really and you know what it is? Because in the rest,
he's been going on the McAfee show too much.
That is it. That is gotta be Pat's getting in his head. You can't. Pat spins those narratives real quick. But no, there's literally like a big thing in wrestling today that's all just. It started in just like writers just starting up stuff, and maybe it's true, it's all hearsay stuff, and it just clicked in my mind that it's literally the same thing that Shams has been doing with Kevin Durant this whole summer. It's all just like, ooh, sources close to Kevin Durant said that he had this meeting where he might have talked about a topic about asking for a trade. And it's like, bro, what are we doing here? Like, what are we doing? The Celtics thing is the most absurd. It's the most absurd because we knew that trade offer was there for weeks. That was what, and we knew that not offer. We knew that that's the package that the Nets wanted for weeks, and he just resurfaced that story like it was like brand new information. Like, bro, like what are we doing here? But Shefty did that shit too with Aaron Rodgers. So that's where I think that's who's to blame. I think Shams learned it from Shefty.
Yeah,
little bastards.
Shefty has been good at that lately too. It's been
Shefty's the worst. Yeah, he's honestly he's worse than everybody.
The way he breaks news now too, it's ridiculous, man.
Dude, his tweets are so. I hate seeing his tweets.
I get so bad, dude.
Right. So we kind of are in agreement that.
What's our power ranking then? So Woj, Shams, Shefty. No, we're going these three right now. Or is it?
I put Shefty over Shams because Shams is a wannabe Shefty, and he's a wannabe Woj. He's a wannabe both, essentially.
Yeah, figure it out.
Yeah.
Bro.
Yeah. I think Woj is the best because he may be the most boring and the weirdest, but he's definitely the most professional. I think his percentage of wrong and right is probably a lot higher than the other two. And then I actually have a bias because I like Shefty on like game day like Sunday mornings on the NFL Network. I like him more like in that role, like on television, or even when he like pops in randomly to like the ESPN fantasy shows. I think Shefty does well in that role. So I actually do like Shefty in football. So I gotta go Woj, Shefty, Shams. And Shams is just in the top with me because of the
Celtics
forcing Kevin Durant onto the Boston Celtics.
Real number one though, Jeff Passan. Number one.
Yeah.
Not a big baseball guy, but Jeff Passan.
Yeah, he's good.
Anyways, I just want to know where you guys stand. I have strong opinions about the way Shefty and Shams have been running their media business. It's a dirty game out here. It's also just slow. He just has too much time on his hands. He's on vacation. This dude's used to texting people like 22 hours of the day. Now everybody's got their phone on do not disturb and they're in Turks and Caicos, and he's still sitting in his stadium desk here in Chicago, just trying to manufacture tweets.
I know and that's how you get through.
There. That's how you get through the off season, though, right? You make up stories about the superstars. People don't care about the average guys. They care about the superstars.
Do something worthwhile.
Find a hobby, man.
Yeah, find a hobby. God.
Too good, man. So we're kind of all in agreement. Knicks and Jazz getting a deal done for Donovan Mitchell. One, doesn't really seem like the best idea. Two, I mean, the deal that's been reported is super unrealistic, we think. Yeah. How about a little Hornets and Wizards action though? Like what I guess out of those two teams, where would you guys? I know my answer, but where would you guys rather go?
How are either of these teams in the better that much? Like with LaMelo and Mitchell, that's like the worst defensive backcourt I've ever seen in my life. They'll be fun. They'll be a lot of fun. That team.
Well,
that'd be better. The Hornets are better. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say a worst defensive backcourt might be Brad Beal and Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah, that's bad. That's really bad. I mean, I don't mind the Hornets. I think it would really help Donovan Mitchell. I think having LaMelo Ball, a guy could facilitate, run the offense through him, get Donovan Mitchell a lot of open shots. And I think the Hornets kind of need that guy after the offseason that Miles Bridges had. But I think that's not a bad spot. I don't know. I feel like Donovan Mitchell has to go somewhere where he's not the guy. Maybe 1A, 1B situation, or maybe I don't think he's a Batman, right? He's kind of like a Robin, I guess. I think he's a great sidekick to have. I don't think Donovan Mitchell's the guy. And I think in Charlotte, eventually LaMelo is going to be their guy. So maybe it can work if they improve on defense. But I don't know. I don't see anywhere I love out of these three teams for Donovan Mitchell. The Hornets and the Wizards. The Hornets are probably my favorite of the three, but none of them I'm really like, oh yeah, I love that spot.
That's why the Barrett thing. That's why you can't trade RJ Barrett, because he's the perfect guy to pair with him. But he's the thing is he's the least known quantity out of those three stars we just mentioned. So you're taking more of a gamble, but it could also be better. for them. But yeah, it's not perfect anywhere. Miami is the perfect spot, but I think Miami must have some intel that they don't like about the dude, because otherwise they'd be all in on it.
I actually have another
or
team
they're the
in
stealth
the Eastern
team.
Conference.
Go ahead.
That
Ooh.
I don't know how realistic this is. I also don't know, what Danny Ainge's interests are outside of first round picks. But we know the Raptors are willing to make splashes. We know they've been in the KD talks all summer for the most part. I think Mitchell to the Raptors, and when I started this thought, I was thinking pair Mitchell with Siakam. But I think Siakam might be, if you're looking to bring in Mitchell, Siakam may be the piece you get rid of, and you pair Mitchell with Van Fleet, Scotty Barnes, Anunoby, and those guys, and then try to bring in a big from elsewhere, or maybe, bring in someone from Utah, or, however they make it work. But I think Mitchell going to Toronto, and technically he would be the one on that team, but I think a few years' time, Scotty Barnes is going to be the one on that team without a doubt. And then you have Mitchell can kind of play that 2 role. Van Fleet's an elite scorer that would be next to him. Again, we talk about bad defense in the backcourt. That would also be the case there.
Yeah,
that would also be the case
Wouldn't
there.
Be ideal.
But I don't know. I could see Donovan Mitchell in the 6.
You really think Toronto would get rid of Pascal for Donovan Mitchell, though?
Yeah, I don't know. That's what I mean. Like, I don't.
This year, it's tough for me to think they're going to get rid of Siakam. He played fantastic this year. He's their one right now. I know Scotty had an incredible rookie season, but Pascal is their one. I don't know. I
don't think they need to give him up, though. I don't know if they.
You don't think so? What do you think?
They'd have to give up everybody. They'd have to give up like everybody else. That's the thing. Van Vliet, I think you could do it with Van Vliet and Anunoby. Who's another guy off the bench?
Trent,
something like that, and then the picks.
Chris Boucher.
Yeah, and a couple picks.
I think that could get it done.
Honestly, I still think
that's KD. I still think it's KD.
I mean, they should still be pursuing that.
I do too.
Drake and KD, bro. They've been boys for how long? It makes too much sense in the world. Drake would be at every game. He'd be courtside at literally every game for KD.
Yeah,
shit would be crazy. You trade Scotty Barnes for KD, like that's.
You do. That's an exception where I trade. Wouldn't trade Scotty Barnes for a lot of guys in the league. KD, that's definitely one of them. You include in a package deal without question.
All right, we did this by accident this time, boys. But he's already come out of our mouths. Let's address what happened at the beginning of the week here. It's a little bit of different news, but more of the same. More bullshit stories. I mean, at least Durant saying that this is bullshit, and I agree with KD in this instance. I think he's being an absolute diva this offseason, but the report came out earlier this week that KD would rather retire than play with the Brooklyn Nets. He tweeted later that day that he's nowhere close to retiring. Didn't exactly say that he didn't say that, but his tweet implied that he never said that. And then Nets owner also likes that tweet. And here we are, and then Stephen A. Smith comes back to reality after his hiatus, which we didn't mention him when we were ranking a sports analyst there. And he likes to give people a hard time for taking.
He's in his own category. He's in his own category.
I was literally gonna say he's in a world of his own.
He's in his. You can't compare anyone else. He's in his own category.
You want to talk about professional wrestling? That's Stephen A. Smith is professional wrestling on TV.
Well, he literally has a show called what is it? Stephen A's World. He literally is in his own world. But anyway, he comes back from his shoulder surgery, vacation, hiatus, whatever you want to call it, and he starts coming at KD immediately. He's doing Stephen A. things. He's shitting on him 1 second, praising him for other stuff. But where are we at with Durant? I mean, I don't think any teams are close. I think the Nets want way too much. I think KD doesn't even know what he wants. Jake, I feel like me and you end up always saying the same thing when we bring this up. Like, I think KD just wants to hoop, but I honestly think that's like getting in his way at this point. Like, I think he said that he wants to be traded and then like thought that was it and like wouldn't have to make any decisions from here on out. But he is like seriously just imploding the Nets organization from within. And I don't even know if he's realizing it because of how focused he is on literally just playing basketball.
I don't think he knows what his end game is. I don't think he had a plan what his end game was. I really don't. I think he just is trying to use his pressure that and the power and whatever he has in any way that he can right now. And it's not good. It's not a good plan. He didn't have a good game plan coming into this. He didn't realize he didn't have as much leverage as he should have realized. I guess he probably does realize he doesn't have leverage because he's signed to a 4-year deal. So he's really just trying to do like all these little things that he can do. If it's real that he has beef with the front office, then we've seen this play out so many different times. And Joe Tsai's just gonna have to pick, like, who does he like more? And what would you guys do? Like Sean Marks, you can win. You can build a good team still with whatever you get from a KD trade, even if it's diminished on the return, obviously. And like we have here, Kyrie, they want win now players for Kyrie too, so they know that they can spin these guys off and still build a team that can compete at the very least. But what does he want? Like, when is Sean Marks that guy? Like, why not just get rid of him and keep Kevin Durant if that's the real issue? Or KD really, that's not the issue. It's just another scapegoat that is out there that's not substantial. So that's the biggest thing is like, Joe Tsai, make a decision, bro. Like, or maybe the decision is that it's KD and that really isn't. That's the standoff we're at. But the longer Sean Marks survives, it makes me feel like
I also think Joe Tsai probably just doesn't know what to believe. Like, I'm sure and deep down he wants to be like, yeah, let's get rid of Marks, let's get rid of Nash, and let's keep Durant. But like, he probably thought that he was all good as soon as KD signed that 4-year extension.
Right.
And now here we are. He signed the 4-year extension. He wants out. Like, and now he's demanding that you get rid of the head coach and GM, or at least allegedly demanding that those guys go before he comes back. It's like I'm sure there's crazy trust. This is a trust issue tree, and it's just going all over the Brooklyn Nets organization.
Bringing back Drake, bringing Drake back up. Trust That's what's going on.
Drake could write a whole album on the Brooklyn Nets.
He really could. No one trusts Kyrie. At all. Any of the people.
No one trusts any.
Literally, these are the most unreliable people. These are the most unreliable superstars we have in the NBA. Kevin Durant has left 2 places now. Simmons, Irving, it's just a mess. It's a mess of personality.
I think none of them know what they want, and if your superstars don't know what you want, then how are you gonna know what they want? And I think at the end of the day with KD, though, I don't think he's the type of guy who's just gonna hold out the season if he doesn't get traded. I think he's either gonna play. You're either gonna have a top, 5, top 10 NBA player, wherever you want to rank him right now, playing for your team, or you're gonna get a bunch of assets and picks you can use if a trade is actually done. But it's just one of those things where I want this drama to end. I want this saga to end, this whole KD offseason, this whole Brooklyn Nets offseason. Like I said, Ben Simmons, he told us all. He said, KD, Kyrie, and Ben Simmons together is going to be scary. And it's been scary, but not in the way he wanted.
It's been fucking Nightmare on Elm Street scary.
It's been ridiculous.
Yeah.
I just want it over. I just want to watch KD hoop again. I think that's what all basketball fans want, right?
Yeah.
We just want to watch him hoop. I don't care who it's for. Just let me watch KD play somewhere where he wants to play, somewhere where he's happy.
I will tell you what Ben Simmons wants. I know what he wants. He wants to work and make a lot of money with doing as little as possible.
That's fair.
And he will continue to do that.
He's very good at that. He's very good at that.
He wants so well. He wants a basketball jersey from FaZe Clan, and he wants to just stream on Twitch all day. Whatever he's playing these days. I don't know what really.
And Kyrie,
Ben Simmons and Kyler Murray playing Call of Duty together on the weekends. That's the dream for them.
Yeah, us three talking about how excited we are for fall for NBA and NFL to be on at the same time. Kyler and Ben Simmons just can't wait for the new COD to drop.
Yep. Warzone 2 comes out, they're gonna go fucking crazy.
Oh, while we're on the KD topic for a moment here, KD and Tatum worked out in LA together, and all of NBA Twitter lost their absolute minds.
As they always do.
No Jaylen Brown.
Yeah.
They always do.
as if Tatum doesn't work out with literally every NBA superstar every summer.
Yeah. And also, if you want, we're talking about this week in Twitter, and Jaylen Brown the other day was literally with the mayor of Boston.
Yeah.
The Celtics are gonna trade the dude that's hanging out with the mayor in his free time. That's what's happened.
Quite literally, like single-handedly changing Boston's community, and everyone's convinced that he wants out.
Get him out. Bring KD in.
It's like the most polished Bostonian that we have at the moment, and everyone's trying to fucking run him out of town.
That's what I don't think people get is the JV factor. That he's just like the best human being ever, and it would be impossible to trade him, especially for a guy. Not saying Kevin Durant's not a good guy, but an unreliable narrative at this point, I think.
Yeah.
But what else? What are we gonna finish up here with? Can we make fun of Skip Bayless? Because I was angry, bro. I was so hurt.
It's just like weird at this point.
I was in office yesterday at my job, and we had actual water cooler talk, which is hilarious to me that actually happened. But this was the first topic that came up. We were told it was when LeBron's deal came through. I brought it up to fellow coworkers, and then the next thing was, did you see Skip Bayless? It is weird. Why would you say that about? I know we even critiquing like high school basketball players to an extent is weird to me. Like I get like when they get to college to a certain extent, but they are still kids. Like can we like some dudes get a little bit too into it, but this is just like he's trying to get to LeBron through like
it's personal.
His child. That's so
it's personal for Skip Bayless. It's personal now.
It
really is. He really is.
He just wants the attention so bad. It's crazy.
Did you guys,
we need that podcast though. We like Bron after he retires on his format, not on Skip's. On some, that's the way it would be. We need LeBron and Skip for just like an hour. That's the world needs to hear that. It would be incredible.
Did you guys see? Did you guys see PFT from Barstool's comment on Skip going after Bronny?
No, what he said.
He said he was basically just guaranteeing himself 25 more years of his job by going at Bronny. Is that all he's doing?
It's honestly true. That's true.
He's just going after the bloodline, dude. He's going after the next generation.
Just wait till Bryce turns 17 and goes down a sick ton. He's be like, Bryce not as good as his brother.
I know. Does he not know that he has another son? Because Bryce has been yamming.
He knows he has a daughter.
Bryce is much taller than Bronny now.
I think he's got like a notebook that is for each member of LeBron's family, just only in case of emergency. Like if he needs to like roast them for something to get Bron's attention, he's got it there.
Skip Bayless is about to go on a rant this upcoming basketball season about how much he hates tacos and prefers quesadillas when LeBron's family does Taco Tuesday. That's probably going to be a segment.
Do you think Skip has ghostwriters?
Yeah, I think
so. Yeah, probably.
I think there's no way
I think people are hating him. That's even worse than just tweeting it yourself, though. That means you have an operation dedicated to your haterism. He's got like interns coming in being like, here, Skip, here's your LeBron roast tweets for the day. And he's like scanning the paper. He's like, that's the one. Bring up Bronny today. Yeah.
But that's who he is at this point, right? That would be such a fun job. That would be such a fun job to show Skip just like roasting tweets on LeBron. Be like, this good enough to post, man?
Yeah.
But gosh. You're thinking, Donnie, what he's going to do, he's not going to like hate on Taco Tuesday. He's going to have his own like Burger Tuesday. He's going to be like, it's Burger Tuesday here. He's going to have like 23 and ketchup on the burger and then say for Michael Jordan, the greatest of all time, whatever he's got to do.
Yeah. I was literally just going to say, Skip would be like, Shannon, do you know what Michael ate on Tuesdays? Championships and success. Some bullshit like that, dude.
That's so true, though. That's something he'd absolutely would say. And then they'd have like a 20-minute debate about it.
Yeah. I want to create a meme of Bronny is that one fish from SpongeBob where he just keeps going, how many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man? It's just Skip Bayless.
That's honestly that's the turn we need. Is Bronny does the opposite of LeBron and just comes after Skip all the time, but never actually acknowledges Skip. Like he just makes TikToks just roasting Skip Bayless, and Skip's like, "Come on here and talk to me," whatever, and he just never does it. Just memes the shit out of him. That's the best timeline of this. Yep. Bryce and Bronny just meme the shit out of Skip Bayless once they're adults. Oh man, I think that's if we should hit up Spring Hill and be like, yo, listen guys, we have the best brand idea for your children. This is it. What do we have left? I think this is Stevie's time here on his first episode.
Oh
yeah, as we wrap up here. Stevie, you got your WNBA corner here. You've got bets going tonight. You've been following along. You're here to keep us locked in here. So what do you got here, buddy?
I mean, I got the itch for basketball. I got the itch a couple weeks ago. Like I said, I took like a month off, just golfed a little bit. I was like, I'm taking a little break from sports, and then I got the itch. I'm like, I got to get back into basketball. WNBA, I was in a fantasy league this year, so I learned the players. That's the easiest way to learn the players. Just do a fantasy league.
Great idea.
And they have the fairest player props you'll ever see because not a lot of people bet on them. So you get really fair values, really fair points. That's really where I've been capitalizing WNBA. But we got the playoffs. Playoffs started. The Las Vegas Aces with Donnie. I know you said it. We'll call her our girl Kelsey Plum. Then the Las Vegas Aces, they are the 1 seed. I started hammering their futures to win the championship when they were like plus 230. They're now minus 105. They are the overwhelming favorites. If you've never watched the WNBA and you want to, watch some basketball, get into it, watch the Las Vegas Aces play basketball. They have 4 superstars that at any point in time can score over 20 points a game. You got A'ja Wilson, who's a former MVP. You have Kelsey Plum, who's probably going to win Most Improved Player of the Year. She's averaging over 20 points a game. Chelsea Gray, let me tell you what. Chelsea Gray, she's got some mean dog in her. Chelsea Gray is someone where she's not going to get pushed around. And then you have Jackie Young, who is a superstar in her own right. She kind of takes a backseat sometimes when A'ja Wilson and Kelsey Plum are doing her thing. But the Las Vegas Aces, they're so much fun to watch. They got 4 players that are just exciting. And one thing I learned from actually watching the WNBA, kind of the end of the regular season, now the playoffs, these girls can shoot, man. They can ball. They can play. And if you're looking for some basketball, if you're like, man, it's still like over a month away, try out the WNBA playoffs right now as we're recording this. Got the Connecticut Sun, Dallas game on right now. The Sun, Jonquel Jones, an absolute monster. I took her player prop today over 15.5 points. I think she has 15 points at halftime, so we just need a basket from her. But it's going to be a lot of fun. I know Chicago, Jake, you're Chicago. They lost. They lost their first game. Well, they're going up against Sabrina Ionescu, who everyone knows from Oregon. Yeah. She was awesome in college basketball. She's really turned it on now. But it's been a lot of fun to watch. I've gotten super into it because here's the thing, right? Basketball fans are basketball fans. They enjoy basketball. You guys will hear me throughout this year. Now that I'm part of Triple H, you're going to have to deal with it. I'm going to bring up some ridiculous college basketball schools you probably never heard of because I'm going to be talking about some 4 overtime game between Mississippi Valley State and like Bethune-Cookman that I was going nuts over that no one else was watching. But trust me, basketball fans love watching basketball. The WNBA has been some fun basketball lately, especially the playoffs. Got to put some respect on it. And aces for the ship. Our girl Kelsey Plum, she's taking it home. She's taking it home. I don't want to hear it, Jake. She's taking it home.
Listen, I tell you though, I was very when I knew that we were gonna draw the Liberty, when the Sky were going to draw the Liberty,
Tough
because I've been
draw.
following the Sky on the year, not as much the whole league, but the Sky and everything sort of moving here. Yeah, I was mortified that it was because it's so you get in these situations with these 3-game sets and she steals. We're fucked. Like this is a big game player she's gonna ball out again. Like no doubt in my mind, this girl is going to be ridiculous for the rest of the series, no matter what happens. So yeah, I'm very scared. And that was the honestly, worst scenario.
The Liberty are probably the hottest team right now coming into the playoffs. They were not a playoff team at the start of the year. They were really struggling. They kind of really found their groove at the end of the year. And that's not a 7 seed you want to face when it's a 3-game series and you're already down 0-1. So it's going to be a fun playoffs. I mean, I'm looking forward to it. Like I said, I'm going to have the games going all week long. I'll be tweeting updates. Don't you worry. I'm going to be trying to give out as many picks as I can. Like I said, player props, my favorite. But we got to respect the WNBA. We want the NBA back. I want college basketball back. We want basketball back as soon as possible. I know that. And now we're starting to get the itch because it's getting close to football season, which means the betting's going to start to heat up again. We're done with the dog days of summer. And it's like, I'm getting that itch. It's like, well, get your fix. Get a little bit of your fix with watching some WNBA playoffs because there's some competitive games, and I've been really enjoying it.
Yeah, Stevie, real quick, I do want to amplify your Las Vegas Aces take because a little anecdote here. Kelsey Plum got a signed jersey from the GOAT Tom Brady about, I want to say a month and a half, 2 months ago, like right before she started going on this tear. So she's been kissed with success and greatness. She got the gift. She got the gift from Mr. Tom Brady, Mr. 7 Rings himself.
He gave it up himself. Apparently, he's disappeared, vanished.
True. He handed it to Kelsey Plum. He said, "This is it's your time now to go get a championship." I'm amplifying your take on the Aces.
Tom Brady recognizes greatness too. Tom Brady recognizes greatness. He's not giving that jersey to anyone. He's not giving that to anyone. He recognizes it. The Aces, they are really fun. I'm very invested into the Aces for these playoffs. They kind of won me over. I want to say, I don't know, probably like a month or so ago. I was like, this is a good team. This is a really good team. And like I said, they have 4 people who can just beat you at all times offensively.
It's going to be a blast. I can't wait to see how the playoffs shake out. Hopefully, that it's the same time. I think the Sky game is on the same time as the Bills game on Saturday, though. It's gonna feel like we're talking about these football times and all these times that we get all these sports. Like this is like my precursor to what we're talking about here. I get a Sky playoff game and the Bills at the same time on Saturday afternoon. What more could you ask for?
That's the perfect.
Where else would you rather be?
Perfect warm up for this season coming up.
You want to know what's going to be terrible though? Not terrible, but today in beautiful Chicago, Illinois, I was unaware that they were starting the Aaron Water Show practice, and I just heard planes for like 4 hours straight, and that'll be going on all weekend. And so it's going to be an interesting weekend between 10 to 2 during the Aaron Water Show because I just heard like a plane. The only time it's happened is it was a Sunday night baseball game and I was in my apartment, forgot the Cubs were playing, and they did a flyover and that shit was like, oh my God. I was like, what is happening? I think it was like 5 planes that flew over and it felt like that, but all day long. It was crazy. That's just a fun anecdote for in general, just in case you know what I've been dealing with today. my ears are like ringing now with these headphones.
You had to share that. You're like, I have to.
No, I did. I've told everybody.
Someone has to know this.
I told everybody. It's this whole place. I think I was the only one unaware. I think, oh Jesus, my cat's knocking down my damn lamp too. This is turning chaotic here. Relax. You can still see me, but my little ring lamp is like tilted. Unbelievable.
All right, fellas, we got anything else here in Stevie's debut? He got the WNBA corner in. Honestly, we covered a lot today.
Yeah,
I'm sure we'll have many more rumors and untrue basketball leads next week to talk about. If you guys aren't already, follow myself and Jake on Twitter, but especially Steve here at some guy named Steve on Twitter.
At Richie Stevenson. The name is some guy named Steve. At Richie
You can
Stevenson.
still search it.
Yes.
You can search both.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You'll find it. I'm just some guy named Steve. Nothing special.
You can't. Could you get the at some guy named Steve?
I tried. It's too long.
Fuckers. Oh,
it's too long.
What about SUM?
I could try to abbreviate it. We could see what we could do there.
Yeah. Regardless, guys, give him a follow. Now part of HHH full time. And yeah, like he said, he's gonna have WNBA stuff for the time being. Bets, college hoops, NBA. We got it on lock. We're right around the corner. We're gonna have 2K content coming soon. It's gonna be great. Yeah, let us know what area you guys are gonna be jumping in, and we'll see you in my park.
Don't want it.
No, they don't want the smoke. They don't want the smoke.
I don't want it.